Welcome back to the Tech Tip podcast. You're here with your usual co-hosts, Jonathan and Louis, and we also have Emily from FreeAgent and Bran from XPenditure. Thanks for coming on the show, guys.
Pleasure.
So we've brought on FreeAgent and XPenditure on the show today because the self-assessment deadline is looming for self-employed people like myself and Louis as well, I believe. So we thought it'd be useful to kind of show how these tools are used, and we thought, what would be better to actually bring on, the people who actually, work for the companies themselves. So they're going to do a little sort of demo, a walkthrough of both the tools. FreeAgent is used sort of mostly for invoicing, but also you can sort of submit VAT returns, you can submit your self-assessment as well, and XPenditure helps you with your receipts, essentially, sort of helps you with itemizing, helps you with scanning your receipts, and kind of saves on having to keep lots of pieces of paper about. So I thought if we could just start off with Emily, could you kind of just give us, I hope I've given a good brief overview, but maybe you could go into a little bit more detail and actually maybe walk us through using a screen share?
Most certainly, Jonathan. Thank you very much.
Emily, can I just say, so we do have people watching the video, but in addition we do have people listening over audio. So if you could just try and be quite explanatory about what you're showing as well, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, so if I describe what I'm looking at as well.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm Emily Coltman. I'm FreeAgent's chief accountant, but please don't let that put you off. I promise I talk plain English. What I'm going to do now is give you a very, very quick whistle-stop tour of FreeAgent and how it can help you do self-assessment. Because, as Jonathan quite rightly said, self-assessment is something that all business owners have to do, and at FreeAgent we're trying to make it as easy as possible for the self-employed and for directors of limited companies to do their self-assessment tax returns. So, yes, as Jonathan said, FreeAgent does invoicing, and I can navigate to the invoicing area, and I can create invoices really, really quickly. So what I've got here is an invoice that I've created in the past. If I want to create something very nearly the same, I can duplicate that invoice. So I shall do that very, very quickly. I can say this invoice was on a particular date. FreeAgent automatically gives it the right reference number. I can create the new invoice, and there it is. I can add my logo to the invoice. I can send it by email. I can save it as a PDF to send within my own email system. If I send it by email, I've got lots of different options to include, for example, an online payment link to, say, PayPal or go cardless. And then once my customer receives that email, it's just one quick click to pay it for them. So yes, FreeAgent does invoicing. We also manage what we call out-of-pocket expenses. So those are when you spend your own money on a business cost, not the business's money. And again, it's really, really easy to record those in FreeAgent, and that is where we're really helped by XPenditure. What I'm going to show you now is adding mileage that you travel in your own car, which is effectively an out-of-pocket expense because it's where you spend your own money on a business cost. So you say the date of the journey, how far you travelled, which is important, put in the description, and you choose which kind of vehicle you're travelling in, whether it's a car, motorbike or bicycle. We've actually got HMRC's mileage allowance payments programmed in. The idea with that is so that you claim maximum tax relief without, if you're a company director, risking a taxable benefit issue. So what do I mean by claiming tax relief on a cost? Well, a business that's self-employed, you'll pay tax on your business's profits, which are your income less your day-to-day running costs. If a day-to-day running cost can be used to reduce the amount of profit that you pay tax on, that is what's meant by claiming tax relief on a cost. Limited company pays corporation tax on its profit, so again, if you can use a cost in a company accounts to reduce the amount of profit a company pays tax on, again, that's tax relief on it. You may be able to reclaim VAT on part of your mileage, and that is quite a complex calculation, but FreeAgent actually does it for you. All you need to do if you're registered for VAT is make sure you've got a VAT receipt and put in the correct car engine type and size. You can link this mileage to a project if you're going to rebill it to a client, i.e. get a client to pay it back to you. You can also upload an attachment. By the way, if this was created through XPenditure, that's where the attachment would come from.
Okay.
So I create the new expense, and then I've got a list of expenses showing how far I've travelled. And then what will happen is those will start to build up my tax return as I create invoices, as I record out-of-pocket expenses, and also as I explain bank transactions. Now, what I mean by that is, if you have a business bank account, or indeed a personal account that you use to trade, what you can do is you can record your bank transactions. You can actually get FreeAgent to talk to your online bank account and pull the transactions across in a lot of cases. Or you can download transactions from online banking and upload them into FreeAgent, or you can enter them one by one. So as I say, as you enter your bank transactions, your expenses, your invoices, it all starts to build up a picture that comes together to create your self-assessment tax return, or your tax return for short. So here's the tax return in FreeAgent. You can see you've got the main return section, which everyone has to fill in if they do a tax return. And that lists common types of income like bank interest, dividends, also some common tax reliefs that are slightly different from cost, like contribution to a pension scheme or gift aid donations to charity. If you're self-employed, you also get the option to fill in a set of employment pages. So that would be if you had a part-time job as well as running your own business, or indeed you had a full-time job and you ran your business in your spare time. So you'd fill in the details there from your P60 and from your P11D that your employer will give you. If you're a sole trader, then FreeAgent will complete 90% of the self-employment boxes for you. It'll take from your accounts, so that's from your invoices, your expenses and your bank payments and your bills. It'll take from there things like your sales, your turnover, that's your invoices, your allowable costs, so the ones that you can claim tax relief on. From that, it works out your profit, and from there it works out how much tax you're going to pay on that profit, how much tax and what's called Class 4 national insurance you're going to pay on those profits as a sole trader. So in terms of how to make sure you don't miss the deadline for the tax return, we've actually got a tax timeline on the overview screen, and that shows you when your tax return is due and how much tax you can expect to pay. So those three there, that's the tax return, and those are the payments of tax you're going to make. But so that you don't have to log into FreeAgent every single time you want to be reminded of these, you can actually synchronize your tax timeline with your calendar and say iCal or Outlook. Then you get the reminders in your calendar. You don't have to even log into FreeAgent to see those reminders, which is really useful. So hopefully you won't be at so much risk of missing your deadline. In terms of things that people often get wrong, just a few pointers to watch out for when you're filling in your tax return. I mentioned mileage. If you're travelling in your own car on business, you either claim mileage or you claim tax relief on part of the cost of the car and the actual running costs. Don't mix it up and do both. If you're claiming what's called capital allowances on the cost of the car, you can't use the mileage because that actually includes an allowance for buying the car. You need to actually work out the business proportion of your actual costs. Similarly, if you are working from home, you can claim tax relief on some of the costs of working at home. We've got lots of useful infographics on the FreeAgent site to help you work out how much. But equally, don't either overcook that or undercook it. Make sure that you get a fair and reasonable amount for working at home. In terms of your interest and your dividends, those are always included on a tax year basis. So the tax year we're looking at the moment is between these dates here, 6th of April 2013, 5th of April 2014. So your income from interest, dividends, and also from your job always goes on your tax return in the context of the tax year. Your bank and your employer should actually give you certificates showing how much you received in your tax year. Make sure you use that, don't get confused. In particular, if you're the director of a limited company and you're taking dividends from the company, again, make sure that on your tax return you put the dividends for the tax year, not the company's accounting year. Don't get confused. If you're using FreeAgent to do your company accounts, it will actually pull out the dividends for the tax year for you. So that's one less thing to worry about. So that's just a few common slip-ups that people tend to make when you're doing your tax return. I have to tell you, whoever said tax didn't have to be taxing was telling a huge stonking great lie. It's not always easy to fill in your tax return. And if you're in any doubt as to whether you've got your figures right, do ask an accountant for some help. If you're working remotely, you can actually log into FreeAgent from anywhere, so long as you've got internet connection. So long as you've got working internet connection, you can log into FreeAgent from any device you like. We've optimized the pages for mobile display. You can log in from your browser. And if you are stuck for help, then there's a few things that we can do to help you. As I said, on our website, we've got loads of useful information. We've got loads of infographics. So if I just search for FreeAgent use of home sole traders, I'll show you the infographic that we've built. There it is. So you can see there, that is my own favourite fair and reasonable method for how to work out your business use of home if you are a sole trader. By the way, if your business is a limited company, it's slightly different. There are fewer costs you can claim tax relief on. Okay. So then we've got another infographic for company directors.
And that is literally just searching on Google for FreeAgent working from home expenses.
Exactly,
right?
Yes. You can just literally Google that. But if you go to our website, which is freeagent.com, you'll find loads and loads of useful resources and help. We've got live webinars on self-assessment. We've got tips and tricks from me on how to improve, on how to do your self-assessment. How far FreeAgent can help is we are not actually licensed by HMRC to provide accounting advice. HMRC say that if we did that, we'd actually have to register for money laundering and ID check all our customers and be looking in our customers' accounts to see if there's any big suspicious transactions that might be gun running or drug running or something like that. So obviously that's not practical for us to do. We can give general guidance and we go as far as we can with things like these infographics. If you need help, you don't think FreeAgent's worked out figures correctly on your tax return, you can contact our support team and I'll show you how to get in touch with them. So on freeagent.com support, so there are some of our lovely team. There's now actually 12 of them, not just 4, that's just some of them. And we've got the email address and the free phone number. So if you need any help with working out working out how FreeAgent has completed your tax return, they're the people to ask.
Yeah, I think that's really, really helpful. I wanted to find out from you, Jonathan, when did you first find out about FreeAgent? Well, my story is I found out through a friend, really, and initially we were looking just for invoicing software, because a lot of freelancers, they would use Excel templates and then they would make a copy and they would send the copy to a client, and then there'd always be quite a struggle really between has this been paid or not. So so when I saw FreeAgent, I definitely saw the benefit of firstly being able to very quickly and easily create those invoices, and then when you send them out to a client, there's also the option to send a reminder email.
That's right.
So if you and when you import the bank statements or the bank statements, you get the option of automatically linking it up with the invoices. It's quite intelligent with doing that. But like I said, if an invoice is not paid, the benefit of it sending out an automated email, that was really the selling point.
I would totally agree there as well. I think it's a common sort of problem with freelancers that you have clients who are a bit lax sometimes, and being able to send them an automatic email just saves so much hassle of having to follow up with people. Yeah.
And Emily, I've got a question. I see when you go to the login page at FreeAgent, there is a login for clients or for normal people, I think, and then a login for accountants.
Just what are you saying?
No, nothing.
Remember, I'm an accountant.
I know. I was really trying to get the right term for this, but. So there's the login and there's a login for accountants. Unfortunately, quite a few of the accountants that I spoke to didn't yet know how to use FreeAgent.
That's a shame.
I know, it's a big shame. So I was wondering, do you have a directory of accountants that have experience with you?
We certainly do. On our website, in the dark blue page at the bottom, section at the bottom of the page, we've got to find our accountants.
Okay.
And if you click on that, you can choose where you want them to be. You can choose if you want to see only FreeAgent accredited accountants. Those are accountants who've taken an exam to prove they know how to use FreeAgent, and that exam is certainly not a walk in the park. I know I wrote it. So it's definitely worthwhile having a look-see for a FreeAgent friendly accountant, somebody who knows what they're doing with FreeAgent. And as you can see there, there's quite a lot of them.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question, if I can sort of interject.
Please
I was
do.
wondering, the facility to create invoices on a mobile app would be really, really handy. Does FreeAgent have plans to create a mobile app that will allow you to do that, or are there existing sort of third-party applications that will allow you to do so?
It does. The good news is we actually have that in development at the moment, and we're planning to release that within the next few months, a mobile app that will let you do invoices on the move.
Excellent.
You
Excellent.
can do it at the moment through the browser, but as I say, we're going one better and we're going to do a mobile app.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay, that's great. Because one app that I had experience with previously was I wrote it down and it's just called Mobile Agent for
That's
FreeAgent.
right.
To be honest, over there I never really used the invoicing bit.
Right.
But I did the expenses, but I was very interested to hear about XPenditure.
Yeah.
Because that is not something that I've used before. So we're very glad to have you on the call today to explain it nice and easy, not only for us, but also for the listeners. So Jonathan, maybe do you have more questions about FreeAgent?
I think maybe we could basically segue into expenditure. So over to Bram.
Okay, hi everybody. So I'm Bran. I'm with Expenditure. I will be sharing my screen with you guys.
And Bram, if you just be able to kind of just sort of give us a brief introduction to what Expenditure does.
Yes. There we go. Just see if you guys can see my screen now.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay. So we here at Expenditure, we know that everybody hates doing expenses. So we tried to, we tried to create a tool which is just as user-friendly as possible. Just upload an expense. You can see all your expenses in one place. We're a cloud-based solution, so we're a SaaS solution as well. So no more keeping all your receipts in shoe boxes, etc. No more losing receipts. Just take a picture of a receipt, fill out any necessary fields, keep track of all your expenses in one place, and just create reports out of it anytime, at any place you'd like. So as you can see on the screen here, this is actually the dashboard when a user logs in to his or her account. There we go. Is everybody still seeing my screen?
Yeah, we can see you have different tabs for expenses, business cards, advances, trips.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So actually, there's in Expenditure, the easiest way to upload all your expenses is via our mobile application.
Okay.
Our mobile application is available on all platforms. So iPhone, Android phones, Windows phones, and Blackberries, completely free of charge. In the App Store, you can just search on Expenditure, and you'll be able to download the app.
Okay.
Once you have the app on your mobile phone, you can just take a picture of a receipt. I'll show you an expense, how it looks like once you've taken a picture of it. There we go. So
I have one quick question. When you're taking a picture of a receipt, does it does it do optical character recognition? Does it pull out that information, or is that still something you need to type in yourself?
Our OCR is going to read out 4 categories on your receipt. We are going to automatically extract the date of the transaction, the amount, the currency, and the merchant.
Okay.
The categories are automatically read out. All the other fields that you see here, they can be customized in your own account. If you want to make it mandatory that every time you upload an expense, you want to edit the form of payment, you can choose cash, company credit card, your personal credit card, etc.
Okay.
You can make that mandatory in the settings of your account. You can also immediately link the category to your expense via the settings, especially for UK users. It might be very handy that in your account you can set specific VAT rules. So we created rules where you can just select a certain category. So for example, let's say a business lunch. Here in Belgium, a business lunch has 20%, 21% VAT.
Okay.
If you created a rule for that category with the designated VAT, and you select every time you upload an expense, for example, business lunch, then the VAT amount will be automatically calculated from the total amount of your expense.
Okay, that's really interesting. I'll have one other question. Is because I know quite a lot of sole traders that, you know, throughout the week, month, even here, you know, they have all these expenses, they collect all the receipts, and it effectively goes into a shoebox. And
Yep.
then end of year or every now and then they have this massive clear out where they're trying to go through the receipts and so using this, even at that point, so even if you already have a box of receipts, is that possible that you can go so my question really is, how far back can you add these receipts, the receipts that you already have, to your system? Do you have a certain time limit?
We don't have any time limit. We work in general with a fair use policy.
Okay.
But for example, if you have a shoebox or several shoeboxes full of receipts, that's one of the main reasons we created this tool, is that we don't like shoeboxes full of receipts. You can, for example, also, if you have a Dropbox account or an Evernote account,
Okay.
you can upload all the receipts you have via Dropbox, link it to your expenditure account, and then in a batch upload receipts. But the thing is, what we now have with the mobile application is just you're in a restaurant. The waiter gives you the receipt you pay. You just take a picture with the mobile app, and it's already uploaded into your account.
Okay. Then, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so then once you've filled out all the necessary fields that you like, you just click on Save.
Yeah.
And there we go. And then in your whole list of expenses, these are the ones that are already in this account, for example. So a whole bunch of expenses.
Okay.
You'll always have an overview of the expenses. So the date, the merchant, if there's a category linked to it, the amount.
So just for the listeners, if they're not watching the video at the moment, we have these different categories like air travel, cost of sales, advertising, business. I can see you have a couple of business lunches there.
Yes.
And I assume business lunch is actually quite a big type of category, because if people are going out and meeting with clients and there's a requirement to pay for the lunch, you know, so I can really see the use of your tool. But what happens after we've captured these images and it's been put into your system? What can we do that information?
Well, for example, you can. So you have You'll always have an overview in your expenses tab of all the expenses you've uploaded into your account.
Okay.
Once you've uploaded all these expenses, and you've all submitted them, they've all been edited in the way you'd like, via the Actions button, which you see right here.
Okay.
If you select all your expenses, you'll see that there is a new button created, create a PDF from your selection. What you can do via that button is just give it a name, a report name. You can call it, let's call it just test in this case. And if you click on export, a PDF file will be created of all your expenses. We have people that are doing it on a weekly basis. They're doing it on a monthly basis, 2 weekly basis. That's completely up to the user. As you can see, the PDF file will start to download. There we go. I'll just show you an example of what a PDF file looks like. So this is an expense report. We call it test. You can customize these reports as well with your own company logo in the settings of your account. You'll have an overview of all the expenses. In this report, they're summarized by category. And in all the PDF reports, you will always also have the corresponding receipts in the reports.
Nice.
Okay. That's useful. Okay. So also I was told that expenditure, just for the listeners again, it's spelled XPenditure. So not with the E, expenditure without an E.
Yes, it starts with the X. Yeah.
Yes, starts with an X. You integrate with a couple of other services. Am I correct in saying you integrate with FreeAgent?
Yes. So we have already an integration with quite a few accountancy softwares, of which FreeAgent is one of them.
Okay.
What you can do, what is really easy in expenditure, for example, again, you have an overview of all your expenses. You can select them all at once.
Yep.
And via the Actions button, you can set them as reported or unreported, previously reported expenses. If I'm going to set my expenses as reported, okay. Yes. There we go. What you'll be able to do is via the Reports button, you'll be able to create an accounting report. You'll still be able to create a PDF file, a CSV file, if you want to, for example, export it into another accounting system. By creating an accounting report, you can give it an end date. So standard, it'll always be today's date. So include all expenses until today, the 29th of January. Just click on Run Accounting Report. You will receive an overview of all the expenses that are in that specific accounting report. There we go.
Okay.
Via the Export Report button, you can immediately export them to FreeAgent, for example. There we go. So you just need to click on the connection, and as you can see, or for the people that can see the screen, you can always follow the status of the export.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So understand. So and that information is then directly going into your FreeAgent account as expenses.
Yeah.
Do you sync up the different projects that you have within in FreeAgent?
So, for example, at this moment in time, so everything that is in your accounting report will be exported to FreeAgent. I'm doing this via the settings and via my advanced settings. Yeah. So here we have already some different software connections. If you connect your FreeAgent account, for example, with your expenditure account, you just need to make sure that you're using the same email addresses for both accounts. we are automatically going to ask you if you would like to import your FreeAgent categories into expenditure.
Okay.
So that you can use the same categories and they will automatically show up as the right categories in your FreeAgent account.
Okay. Okay, I really think I understand it. It's it definitely saves a lot of time by having to manually type in the details of your receipts. Yeah, Jonathan, do you have some questions?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would say that these are the two tools that I chose when it came to sort of accountancy and expense software, and I did go through quite a few, and I think most of the others didn't have that OCR, the sort of text recognition, which is really the deal clincher for me, because I'm someone who doesn't like to have lots of paper about. I'd much rather I use sort of a Kindle rather than having paper books and that sort of thing, and it was just it was just the ideal solution and not too expensive as well.
Okay.
But a question I have for you, Bram, is I notice you have a sort of facility to do expenses as part of a team. Is that correct?
So actually, in expenditure, we created a system that can be used by everybody, self-employed people, SMEs, to corporates. The system can be customized or is built for all kinds of people or companies. I'll see if I can. So as you can see here, we've created actually different roles in expenditure. I'll show you via the company settings. What you can have in expenditure is, for example, if you're an SME, you can create an approval module. So we created different kinds of roles in expenditure. Let's say you're a company with 50 employees. You have 20 employees with monthly expenses on a regular basis. They upload all their expenses via the mobile application. Somebody, or like in any company, you always need to submit your expenses to a certain manager or somebody's head of a department. He or she will receive the role of approver in expenditure. So employees upload their expenses, they submit them for approval. The person who is the approver in expenditure will just will see, okay, employee John has submitted 15 expenses this week, let's say, and just also via the mobile app, the approver will be able to approve or reject an expense.
Okay.
The big advantage is that we approve on expense level. But nowadays, still in a lot of companies, expenses are done paper-based, typical Excel sheet, receipts attached to it. So let's say an employee submits 50 receipts attached to one Excel sheet. If one or two receipts don't match with what's on the Excel sheet, in most cases, 99% of the cases, the whole batch goes back to the user and the process gets stuck. So what we do is you can just approve on expense level, and just that particular expense goes back to the user, and all his other expenses are approved. So the process doesn't get stuck. You win time, and you don't get any frustrations on it's taking too much time. I have to resubmit my all the expenses, etc.
Okay. Well, I have one last quick question about the expenses bit. So what we're doing over here is, instead of ending up with a shoebox full of, receipts, we digitize them. They go into your system, and then you can sync them up with your accounting software like FreeAgent. I have a quick question. Do you still need to keep, or I've had other people ask as well, do you still need to keep the physical receipts after you've taken a picture with your phone and uploaded?
Maybe I'll answer that one as an accountant.
Yes.
Yes. It depends a bit on the different policies in the countries.
Yes.
For example, here in Belgium, we have a ruling with the authorities that it's not mandatory to keep your the paper receipts.
Okay.
All the receipts or all data that you upload in XPenditure is we store them on secured servers for standard always 10 years. So you can always access your data.
And how about, Emily, how about in the UK?
Yeah, okay. So in the UK, the rules are very much very similar. As an accountant, this is, of course, a question I get asked fairly often. Do I actually have to keep copies of my receipts?
Yeah.
The answer is no, you don't. Again, similar to what Bram just said. So long as you've got a copy of the receipt available to show the taxman if he ever asks, they don't mind it being an electronic copy.
Okay.
So long as it's not a transaction that's got tax on it other than VAT. So something like bank interest or a dividend voucher, those you have to keep in the form you originally got them. But something like a train ticket or a receipt, an electronic proof of that is absolutely fine. And the typical time for keeping those in the UK is 6 years. In terms of taking photographs of receipts, I agree wholeheartedly. That's a really, really good idea because it means you're not missing out on tax relief on any costs. So, for example, if you travel on the train, while you're waiting for the train, you can use XPenditure to photograph the receipt on your phone to track it and record it. Then if the ticket barrier at the other end of your journey swallows your ticket, you've still got proof of the journey. You've not missed out on the tax relief.
Okay. That makes sense.
So, also, what is also nice to know about XPenditure is the easiest way is to upload expenses via the mobile app, of course, but you also have the Add Expenses button in your account, where you can just upload receipts that are on your computer. You can take receipts via your webcam. This is the feedback we have from people taking receipts via webcams, especially in companies, or is that mostly employees are unaware that they are also on the picture. So we receive the most funniest feedback from approvers that they see a nicely picture of a receipt, but then with the strangest faces of their employees. You can also send us receipts via email. We've created a special email address for that. So as Emily was saying, you're on a train. If you bought a train ticket online, mostly you receive the invoice in your mailbox. You can immediately forward to that special email address, and we will upload it into your account.
Okay. Well, Jonathan, you also mentioned, you said that it's not inexpensive. So I thought we might get to the point of we're asking about the pricing for the different services.
I just wanted to ask Bram one more question though. I was wondering, do you have any plans to integrate sort of online payments or online purchases? Say, I don't know, Amazon, eBay, or other sort of platforms. Is there some kind of integration that you have planned with those? Is that
for the moment, not with like Amazon or eBay. We're working on the integration with PayPal at the moment.
Oh, great! Yeah.
And other systems, because we've noticed that because we're already present in 36 countries at this moment, and sometimes it can be easy for people if they just can pay in their own currency. No.
Okay.
Excellent. Sorry, Louis.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just wanted to quickly find out about if people wanted to give either FreeAgent or XPenditure. Maybe we should start with one, FreeAgent. If you want to give it a go. You have a 14-day trial, is that correct?
It's 30 days actually, Louis. We're a bit more generous. We actually give 30 days, and if during the free trial someone finds that they just haven't had time to try it all out, or something's come up and they just haven't had time, then we'll gladly give an extension to that if you email support and ask. Okay. 30-day free trial, that's no obligation. You don't fill in credit card details till you actually want to subscribe, so there's no risk of paying accidentally, as it were.
Okay. And what we've done is, for our listeners, we've also created one of our referral links. You have if you are one of the users and you're able to bring someone else on board, they actually get a discount, don't they?
They do indeed, yes.
Which is very
If
nice.
one direct user brings another direct user on board, both of you get a 10% discount off the prices. And so you can actually get the software for free if you refer 10 new customers to us.
Yeah, that's a really, really nice. So we've set up a link for us if any of the listeners want to go and try it out. ThursdayTechTip.com/FreeAgent, and that'll direct you directly to the, and you'll see, you're getting a 10% discount, which is nice as well. Nice feedback.
But Louis, does that go to your account or does that go to mine?
Oh, we've actually spent, because we like to be fair, 50% goes to mine, 50% goes to yours.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You can do that?
Because I'm smart.
Just laughing at the look on Jonathan's face.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, and you have obviously you have the two different. Well, it looked like you had a couple of different accounts. You have for self-employed, also for business.
That's right. Yes, we have different account types for sole trader, partnership, limited company, and also worldwide outside the UK, which we call universal. We do also have US specific accounts. In the UK, the prices are £19 a month plus VAT for sole traders, 24 for partnerships, 29 for limited companies. Universal is, I believe, $24 a month. And if you're out with the UK and you're a business, we won't charge you VAT on that.
Okay.
Excellent. And I think it's worth mentioning the XPenditure referral program because they have quite a similar one, I believe. Isn't that right, Bran?
Yep. So our pricing model is based on users actually, not on the amount of expense reports that you upload on a monthly or on a daily basis. So we have two types. We have a basic version, which is ideal for self-employed people, which is $5 per month per user. If you subscribe for an annual deal, you'll always get 2 months for free.
Okay.
The Pro version, this is actually the biggest difference, is that you have an approval model in the Pro version, premium expenditure, and it's $7 per month per user. We also have an affiliate program where you can just subscribe for the affiliate program, and then any user that subscribes via your affiliate landing page, you receive a commission as well on the subscription.
But you also have the option of if you refer someone that they could also actually get a discount. Is that correct?
Yep, we can arrange that as well. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So in the description under this video, we will have those links for both XPenditure as well as for FreeAgent. So lastly, if you're really just starting out, I've found out you have a nice little tool called. Do you remember what it's called?
It's Invoice-O-Matic, isn't it?
Invoice-O-Matic.io.
Yes.
So that is if you really just need to set up one invoice, but you're not a business, you're not a sole trader. Where would people use that? Is that just to get an idea of how your invoicing looks?
That's one way of doing it, but I mean, we have got sole traders who use Invoice-O-Matic. So literally, if you just want to send, say, 2 or 3 invoices a month and you don't want to do any other sort of accounting, perhaps you just sell 1 or 2 things on eBay, or perhaps you just want a free invoicing tool because it is completely free of charge, Invoice-O-Matic.io. So yes, please do try that one out as well.
Okay, great.
Excellent. I think both of you have given a great overview and obviously great tools. There are many other tools out there, which I'm sure we could probably list about 20 of them. But I mean, from a personal perspective, these are the 2 that seem to work for me really well.
Great.
So yeah, I just want to say thanks both Bran and Emily for coming on.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah. If anyone has any further questions, can you just tell people where to go?
Where's that?
Sorry. So, for example, if you mentioned the support address for FreeAgent.
Yes, of course. I see what you mean. Right,
Yeah.
I see. Sorry, I thought you were talking about a particular website that you wanted me to link people to, as in sort of you had somewhere on your website. But no, we've got the support team. You can email support@freeagent.com, or you can phone the 0800 number. As I say, that's our support support pages of the website. And our support team are qualified bookkeepers, qualified accountants, experienced to run their own business. So they're more than happy to help.
Excellent.
Same here. It's support@xpenditure.com, and we'll be more than happy to help you out.
Okay. Yeah, so with both of you, you have a trial opportunity. People can just go to the link. Again, the links will be at the bottom of this video in the description. And I suggest everyone should go and try it out. I know the first time I tried, or when I got on FreeAgent, it was a big relief compared to the way I was doing it before.
Right.
I'm still looking for an accountant that understands it a bit better. At the moment, I'm doing an export and then providing the export, which is still a very, very big time saver, but I prefer not to even have to do that. So I'm glad you showed me that bottom bit.
Good.
But thank you both very much. I think it's great tools. Definitely, useful technical tools rather than having to do things manually. And I'm looking forward to not having a shoebox full of receipts.